Welcome everyone to another episode of the Shade and Shit Talking Podcast. I'm your host TK, and as always, I thank you guys for tuning in. Now, I have been away for a few weeks, to collect myself, to recharge, re-energize, so that I can come back better than before. So, for those of you who reached out to me and asking about new episodes and whatnot, I appreciate the love and support. And we back, baby. Let's get this thing rolling again. Now, this episode is what I am entitling called A Tale of Two Justice Systems. And the reason is I came across a couple of stories this past week or so that really caught my eye and really caught my attention, and just the sheer stark differences between the two really just blew me away. So I'm gonna start off with the, and I really can't say it's the most disturbing because it's really hard to say. I'll let you be the judge of that for yourself. But the first case that I want to talk about is from New Jersey. And in this case, you had a 16-year-old boy who sexually assaulted a 16-year-old girl from behind in a darkened basement at a pajama party in New Jersey. And the thing that caught my eye about this, not the ages, I'm not really surprised by the things that kids do nowadays, but the headline fucked me up. And the headline said that a judge said a 16-year-old boy accused of rape came from a good family, so he deserves leniency. Yeah. Exactly. So let me give you some details of this story. So again, they was in a pajama party in a basement at somebody's house drinking, probably doing drugs or whatever. And this boy, he not only did he sexually assault this girl, but he filmed himself doing this. Not only did he sexually assault this girl and film himself doing this, he sent the video to his friends. Okay, so not only did he sexually assault this girl, film himself doing it, sent the video to his friends, he texted them and said, and I quote, "When your first time having sex was rape." This 16-year-old boy did all of those things, and this judge said he deserves leniency. It's not hard to guess, why. But anyway, it was described in this video that the girl's head was hanging down, repeatedly hitting a wall. It said that he engaged in vaginal intercourse with this girl, and she was visibly intoxicated, physically helpless, and unable to provide consent. And it was also said that when she was found, she was on the floor, pretty much passed out, vomit on the floor, vomit all over herself. And she was there until somebody's mother took her home. Now, all of this came out, and again, this judge said that he deserved leniency. So let me give you this judge's exact quote. Before I do that, this judge's name is Judge James Troiano. And in his ruling and what he decided, he basically denied the prosecutor's motion to try this boy as an adult on the grounds that he was, quote unquote, an Eagle Scout who came from a good family, who could get into a good college because of his excellent grades. That's crazy, right? He also this judge suggested that this boy's alleged actions didn't fit the traditional case of rape, which, and this is according to the judge, rape occurs when two or more men clearly manhandle a victim at gunpoint. That is this judge's definition of rape. Like, how in the hell is this guy a judge? I mean, just being honest. How? Now, he also went even further and expressed his concerns that the prosecutor had not explained to the alleged victim the quote-unquote devastating effect that the case would have on the accuser's life if he was tried as an adult. I mind-blowing, right? So, and I mentioned earlier about the boy texting his friends about, your first time is rape. When they brought that up, the judge dismissed it and said it was just stupid crap that a 16-year-old says to his friends. Now this boy committed this act, showed no remorse, bragged about it, and the judge just said, "Fuck it, let him go." Privilege. No other way around it. Perfect example. Now, in all transparency, I will say that last month an appeals court overturned Troiano's decision, and they also criticized his apparent bias towards teens from what they said was good families. Now, it was a 2-judge appellate panel that did this, and they also admonished this judge for sounding like he was conducting a trial instead of neutrally reviewing the Monmouth County prosecutor's waiver motion. Now, this is what the appellate judges wrote, and I'm quoting this: that the juvenile came from a good family and had good test scores, we assume would not condemn the juveniles who do not come from good families and do not have good test scores from withstanding waiver applications. So, according to this judge, he couldn't have did anything wrong because he come from a good family, or he made good grades. Like that matters. And a lot of the times, those are the worst fucking ones. These appellate judges, they also reprimanded Troiano for deciding the case for himself by considering the accused boy's prior good character. He sounded as if he had conducted a bench trial on the charges rather than neutrally reviewing the state's application. So now, since that got reversed, the case will be heard in Superior Court of New Jersey instead of family court. That's insane. Like, and we've seen this in various, stages and levels. You had your Brock Turner got caught in the act of raping a girl behind a dumpster. What he served? 3 months? Some shit like that. Then you had the kid who ran over a bunch of people. The influenza kid, I forget his name, Ethan something or another, privileged, whatever. Like, we've seen this story over and over when it comes to them. And this what this wasn't isolated event, and because 3 days after this verdict happened, this same 2-judge panel overturned another family court's judge decision not to try a 16-year-old boy as an adult after he was accused of raping a 12-year-old girl in Middlesex County. Now, the judge in this case, a one Miss Judge Marcia Silva, she determined that the teen's actions were not heinous because the victim only lost her virginity and bled. And that judge believed and said that that was not especially serious harm. What the fuck? Crazy. But that's what type of court systems we dealing with. So I saw this, and it brought to mind the case of Mr. Albert Wilson. And this guy, he was a college student in Kansas. He was an athlete. He already had his he had an associate's degree with aspirations of being a sports journalist. And he was just sentenced to 12 years for, they said, raping a girl that he never had sex with. He basically kissed a white girl. Now, at the time, he was 20 years old, she was 17. They both had snuck into a bar or went into a bar off campus, University of Kansas, uncarded, met, danced, kissing or whatever. And they went back to his place. Now, at his place, they didn't have sex. They kissed or whatever, and he left. As a matter of fact, they had cameras in the area that pretty much pinpointed their actions. From the time they left the bar hand in hand, went to his place, and came back, was a 5-minute difference. Now, what's very disturbing about this is that she screamed, went, said she got raped. And they did, the DNA kit, rape kit. And the Kansas Bureau of Investigations scientists testified that Wilson's DNA was found on the girl's chest through saliva where he had kissed her, which, he said he did that. But no DNA from seminal fluid was ever found. Ever. And they gave him 12 years. 12. And his jury was an all-white jury who convicted him of rape after 6 hours of deliberation. And again, I don't even have to tell you. You already know he's black. The girl was white. And now he has 12 years for rape when he actually didn't rape this girl. Fucking crazy. Now, like Like how in the hell, how does a jury convict someone of rape when a physical vaginal exam was done shortly after this alleged crime happened and it showed no DNA? Like how? Also, when you know, the girl said she was intoxicated, could barely walk, you know, stumbling and all of that. You have physical evidence from surveillance video that counters everything that she said. But this all-white jury found this black dude guilty of raping this lily white girl, even when the evidence said he didn't do it. But you got judges giving actual admitted rapists who filmed the rape passes. A tale of two goddamn justice systems, man. Like, and I really could go into the numbers, you know, the discrepancy in sentencing and all of that, you know, but we already know it. It may shock some of you, you know, the sheer differences. For the rest of us, it's old news. But, you know, right now there's a movement going, and you can check it out, www.freealbertwilson.com. Like you know, he needs help. They need to throw this out and have a retrial, because nothing, absolutely nothing, is right about that shit at all. But again, nothing new. They've been screaming rape on black men forever. And it all turns out the same way. Bullshit verdict in the kangaroo court. Only difference is now they didn't drag his brother out and hang him like they normally would. But they still killing him by throwing him away for 12 fucking years for something he didn't do. I'm telling you, man, no justice, just us.
Our army manned the airports. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. And at Fort McHenry, under the rocket's red glare, it had nothing but victory. And when dawn came, their star-spangled banner waved defiant.
Man, listen. I don't know if y'all know this, but y'all president is a complete fucking idiot. And you know, if what he's saying is true, then George Washington has to be the biggest goddamn dummy ever. Like, why in the fuck would you roll across the Delaware in bitter cold when you niggas could have just flew over there? Just hopped on a little polo jumper, since, you know, the army took over the airports, and you'd have been alright. But, you know, this is who we dealing with. Oh man, Democrats, y'all need to pull y'all shit together. Somebody, anybody, because this dude's a goddamn moron, completely. I swear. Speaking of the Democrats, so, you know, we had two debates. There's a bunch of motherfuckers running right now. You know, the herd gonna have to thin out before long. But you know, it was entertaining, to say the least. I don't know if y'all watch both of them or how much of each debate that you watched, but you know, there was a shit ton of Spanish going on. Like, you know, none of these politicians ever surprised me, you know, or anything like that. Because I mean, they're all crooked. Every last one of them. I don't give a damn who it is. You know, they all pander, but this is just blatant. Like I'm sitting in there like, God damn, I need an interpreter to understand the debate because they're all speaking Spanish. Threw me the fuck off. I guess black people be the topic du jour soon enough, you know, but we'll see. I mean, we always know that they'll start showing up at black churches kissing black babies. You know, the standard fare when it comes to politicians. Now, personally, I don't have a pick, you know, in this race. I'm not beholden to a party, so, you know, I don't just take their word for face value and just say, okay, you Democrat, good, let's roll. So I'm not gonna tell anybody who they should vote for. But I will say this. You need to get as much information as you can on each one of these people running. You need to find their voting records. Find, you know, their definitive stances on certain issues that affect you, that you feel strongly about. And go with that. Don't just, you know, say I'm gonna vote for him because he's black, or vote for her because she's black, or vote for them because they're Democrat, or whatever. Like, study up on these candidates, because we've seen what not voting can do on the local, state, and federal level. So that's really all I can tell you as far as right now. I'm pretty sure once it thins out and you know, the top 3 or 4 whoever emerge and they started really honing in on their spill or whatever, you know, I probably decide then. But right now, nah. But listen, if you want to get a really good breakdown on both debates, make sure you go to Black with No Chaser, our page. Leslie Macklemore did 2 excellent takeaways from each debate. You know, they're funny as hell, but they're serious as hell all at the same time. Like, you'll love it. But you know, right now you got Senator Warren, and when she started off, you know, she kind of controlled the debate early, you know, talking with a progressive policy pitch. She had New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, and they said they would eliminate private insurance in favor of Medicare for all. You had former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro. He was talking very aggressive about immigration. He was also backing decriminalizing illegal border crossings. You had Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. You know, she talked about protected abortion rights. You know, a lot of candidates focus on how to take on Mitch McConnell more than they focus on Trump. A lot of them talked about climate change and China as the biggest threats. And again, whole bunch of Spanish. Beto O'Rourke, he busted out his Spanish. He's from El Paso or whatever. Had Cory Booker shook. Booker looked like, man, what the hell? But it's interesting. It's very, very interesting right now. But again, I'm not gonna go into detail about it, because honestly, it's just too early, in my opinion, for me to just really just focus in on everything in great detail. But there's a few candidates that I am looking at. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie, Joe Biden, and all his goings-ons. And again, I'm gonna glean as much information as I can on each and every one of them to make a decision that affects my present and my future and my kids' future. So I say that you all should do the same. That's pretty much it. Politricks as usual. Man, listen. So, this past week, we've had a lot of crazy shit happen, in the world of entertainment and pop culture. One of the first things that come to mind is Mr. Old Town Road, Lil Nas X. On the last day of Pride Month, he apparently came out as being gay. And he said that, he's been dropping signs. It's been obvious. I don't know. I really don't pay much attention to him. I know my kids love his song and they sing it all the fucking time. It is what it is. I personally don't care. But he caught a lot of slack, a lot of shit from a lot of people, white and black. Now, how they treat him is how they treat him. I mean, But my concern, or my feeling is, who cares? I know a lot of brothers dogged him and talked about, he was gay now, they can't fuck with his music, and they talked about him and called him this and called him that. And they did that and go right and listen to some goddamn Luther, Big Luther, not Little Luther, Freddie Jackson, with no problem. And them niggas was saying it to each other. So, chill, people. Let people live. If he's gay, he's gay. So what? Support that brother. He's doing something positive with his life, getting his money, taking care of his family. Let him do his thing. If you don't fuck with his music, then don't fuck with it. But just don't trash him because he's gay. That makes you look really stupid. Really stupid. Now, another big thing that happened in the world of entertainment, Disney came out and said that they named Halle Bailey, as the next Ariel in their live action Little Mermaid. And white people lost their shit completely. I mean, you had groups on Facebook and whatnot pop up, Christians against this, and make Ariel white again, and all kind of just fucking nonsense over. First of all, it's a goddamn cartoon. And second of all, and listen, for those of you, and what I'm about to say may shock the shit out of you, but mermaids are not fucking real. They're not. So chill the fuck out. Third of all, this isn't the first time that a traditionally accepted white character, beloved white character, has been played by somebody black. Cinderella was played by Brandon Norwood back in 90 something, 96, 97, somewhere up in there. So it's been done. Then you had the remake of Annie with a black cast. They lost their mind over that, but these motherfuckers really tripping right now. Like, I've seen some of the most racist memes ever. Oh man, you could season your food for the rest of the year with all these salty ass racist tears that have been flowing relentlessly since that announcement was made. Y'all need to cut that shit out. But I tell you what. If you feel that way about Ariel, then goddamn it, we gonna start taking everything else. How about that? Give you some shit to really cry about. As a matter of fact, you can go to Black with No Chaser and check out some of the vids that I dropped, you know, talking about different shows, blacking them out, if you will. Just a little petty reimagining. Like, listen, people, it's not a real character. You're not gonna die. You know, I get some of those people who like it strictly because of tradition, but here's the thing: times have changed, people changed. This isn't, you know, what it used to be in America. This is a melting pot, a real one. And you just got to deal with it. Get over it. Get over yourself. She's our Ariel now. Man, maybe that should be our new hashtag. She is our Ariel now. Oh man, y'all fucking trip me out, man. Stop. This week in sports starts me off with the NBA, where free agency has kicked off and the New York Knicks ain't did shit. Man, after all that talk, all last season, all the off season, where they was gonna make moves, they was, you know, saving money, going after big free agents, we got absolutely nothing except for Julius Randle. That's it. Man, I swear for Lord, James Dolan need to sell the team, because he is terrible. He has to be the worst owner of any sports franchise except for Al Davis, but he's dead. So yes, James Dolan, you are the absolute fucking worst. Now, free agency, you had all these moves people thought was about to be made. Everybody thought that KD was a lock to go to the Knicks. I was really hoping that he was, but after he ruptured his Achilles, that changed everything. And James Dolan didn't want to pay the big bucks for that nigga to sit on his ass a whole year. But lo and behold, Brooklyn did. And not only did they get KD, they got Kyrie, flat earth head ass, to go over there with him. Now, they might not be shit this year, but next season, them boys gonna do something. Now, over in Los Angeles, you had AD Caterpillar Eyebrow Davis get traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for a lot of picks and a few niggas that nobody really cared about. Now, the Lakers just know they going to the finals, especially after Golden State lost KD and Klay Thompson went down with an ACL. Now, the big ticket free agent of the year, Kawhi Leonard, was also on the plans for the Los Angeles Lakers, and every Laker fan that I knew just counted his ass in. They counted on him like the 1st and 15th when it's time to get that EBT card loaded up, but no, to no avail. Kawhi flipped the game and finessed their ass again, and he ended up with the LA Clippers. Not only did he go to the Clippers, but he managed to talk Paul George out of love with Russ over in OKC, and he asked for a trade. So now they both back home in LA. Wow. Now, when asked about it, Magic Johnson said that he is positive he had nothing to do with the Lakers losing Kawhi. Over in tennis, we have a new sensation on the block, 16-year-old CoCo Gauff, as she knocked out my girl, one of my favorite athletes of all time, Venus Williams, in Wimbledon. She beat her ass, and she looked good doing it. Now, she has cruised her way into the semifinals, and I am hoping against hope that she can take it all the way. Now, on a side note, I know a lot of white people got to be mad thinking Venus and Serena on their way out, and it was all theirs again, but no. With Naomi Osaka and now CoCo Gauff, they got two more sisters to deal with. It's gonna be a lot of salty tears in the courts over in Wimbledon, year after year, guarantee it. Now, speaking of winning, we have a new female World Cup soccer champions with the U.S. women's team handling their business and bringing it home. And the golden shoe went to Miss Rapinoe. And if those of you who don't know, she has been at odds with President Orange Cheeto Mussolini, and she don't give a damn about him like we don't give a damn about him, and she ain't afraid to speak her mind. So congrats to you ladies on winning the World Cup. Congrats to you, Megan Rapinoe, on winning the golden cleat. And I hope you have more and more success. And I'm willing to bet she ain't taking her ass to the White House. This episode was brought to you by Black with No Chaser's new business, Very Fly Life, where we will be taking trips and selling ships all over the goddamn world. So look us up on Facebook, look us up on Instagram and Twitter, and go ahead and get your Very Fly Life on. I will see you guys next week. First and foremost, thank each and every one of you for tuning in to this episode of the Shade and Shit Talking Podcast. I appreciate the love, the support, the likes, the shares, the follows, all of that. Also, just thank you for following us on Black with No Chaser, on our website, on Instagram, on Twitter. I encourage you to continue to follow us. We are growing. We are getting bigger. We are doing things that we believe has never been seen before or done before in this type of lane. So stay tuned. Please continue to follow us. Please continue to support us. And I guarantee you, you will not regret it. So again, thank you for everything on behalf of myself, on behalf of the Shade and Shit Talking Podcast, on behalf of Black with No Chaser. We thank you, and I will see you guys next week.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.